There's two paths to success in business. You can either blaze your own trail where there's a high risk of failure, or you can follow a proven path of success. What you're about to see in the next few minutes are several of our clients tell you why their decision to follow a proven path of success was the best decision they ever made for their business, their employees, and their lives.
They wanted to take the business from a mom and pop shop to a fully functioning corporation. They recommended that we have an analyst come in, and so Chris came in and made it very obvious that my dad and I were at a point in our relationship that wasn't going to get better without some help. Some words he had to describe me were lazy, entitled, unable to ever take over the business. So after going home and talking to my husband about it, we decided to move forward with the consulting project. Mark, our consultant, came in. He really got us all excited and energetic about the company again. He was a true cheerleader for us, and he helped us develop a technology platform that resulted in over $1 million of new revenue for the company.
When our consultant Jim Shaw came in, he recognized that we had no way to future forecast what our business was going to be doing. And so with that, he put together tools for us that helped us manage our business and manage our cash conversion cycle. And he noticed that our cash conversion, we were sitting at 120 days when he came in, and when he left us, we were at 40 days for our cash conversion cycle. And that just really gave us an relief that we can now manage our business and we have the cash to do what we need to do. Our tax advisor Julius had came in and he had talked to us about cost segregation, which is an accelerated depreciation, and so that is something we implemented. We got a tax saving of $70,000 by just doing that, and we would not have known about that if we just relied on our normal CPA. And as well, while Julius was here, he talked to us about our asset protection, and our trucks make us our money, that asset. And so there's layers of protection that we can do, so if an accident does happen, that we don't lose our business that we have worked so hard on building up.
When the business consultants came in and they started teaching us about our company, I was more of a crash course in our own company. I have a business degree, and I learned more from the consultants, John and Eve, than I did in my years in school. They taught us how to look at numbers and percentages and so much more. When the consultants, John and Eve, came in, they taught us about break-even, overhead, and gross profit, which having those numbers gave me the ability to be a better manager, which gave me the opportunity to work on the business instead of in the business. One of the biggest things the consultants came in and showed us was that we didn't have a system in place to measure our billable versus non-billable hours for our techs. They put some systems in place so that we could measure that, and once we did, we were very shocked at where our hours were at. Since then, we have raised our productivity from 43 to 65%.
One of the ways I felt before we started working with the consultants was a great overwhelming feeling. I was working in the bookkeeping side of the business, the ordering, the deliveries, the management of employees, and working with the day-to-day customers. It felt like there wasn't room to do any more. When Ron arrived, he was able to help us establish a management team and come up with a plan where we could put key employees in the places that they could succeed by empowering them and helping them to take on more responsibility. This allowed me to free up my time, move my office to an area where I could focus and be able to start working on the business rather than in the business. One of the things that Ron taught us early on was how to blood wall our problems. Blood wall was a completely foreign term to me. I had no idea what that meant. But he explained it was a way of identifying our challenges and our problems within a business and being able to quantify them by putting numbers to them and decide how best to address those issues. In essence, it taught us a way to manage our money rather than our money managing us. As an example of this, number 5 and number 7 were to dealing with freight issues. We deliver all of our products to homeowners and commercial projects, and one of the things that we were finding was that we would often base our freight rates off of a gut feeling of what it would cost us. We were able to take our insurance costs, our maintenance costs, our tire costs, our fuel costs, our driver costs, put those together and come up with an exact number for what it cost us to travel, and then be able to establish a freight rate which allowed us to make money rather than just to break even. So we've only been a few short months since Ron left us, but the evidence of the help that he gave us is already in place. We just finished with our best month ever, over $135,000 better than last year, and a 25% increase. We also are on pace for a 22% increase in the third quarter and a 17% increase for the year, which isn't bad for a company that didn't have room to grow.
So they say it never rains in California. Well, this last winter it rained, and it rained, and it rained. It rained more than we've ever had rain in the last 20 years. And what that does to the construction hauling industry in California is it puts it at a stop. Excavations get filled with water, dirt turns to mud, nobody wants to haul it, trucks slide at the landfill, they're not allowed to dump, causes a lot of safety issues. So our industry usually sits in the rain, and it comes to a complete stop if it's been raining for days on end. It rained 3 to 4 months this year, and we sat. Our overhead continued to build. We were dying under the weight. We couldn't carry the overhead. Our previous year, after following what the consultant Bruce had taught us, we had a banner year. We had $600,000 in cash profit. After 4 months of rain, our cash profit was gone. We were in debt $1 million, and I was ready to quit. Our consultant Daniel came. We loved Daniel. He came. I was in tears when he came. And when you cry in construction, it means something. He came, he went through our operations, and he identified that we had some problems. I was so worried about controlling loss that I had taken my people's power away, and I needed to go back and empower my employees without jumping over. We were jumping over dollars to save a dime. He gave me the confidence and told me, look, I'm gonna take care of this. You go back and do what you're good at. What I'm good at is selling and estimating. He gave me enough confidence so I could focus on doing what I do and let everybody do their job. We made immediate changes. Since then, we have bid in excess of $76 million worth of public works projects. We were just awarded the Western United States largest hauling contract, and we're going with a bright future, an engineered profit. We love Daniel, and it seems like it's going to work out in a much brighter future ahead of us.
Oftentimes we didn't necessarily run our business by the numbers. The consultants came in on a couple different occasions and instituted dashboards for us. What the dashboards enabled us to do is, as opposed to, as we call it, shoot from the hip to make decisions, we're able to sit back, analyze historical data based on our company, and then project and make minor modifications, or sometimes big modifications, to where we could make our business a little bit more profitable, or a lot more profitable in some cases, by using old data and using new techniques, so that way we could be more profitable in the end, and also to make decisions for our employees to help guide them gently in the right direction, so that way it affected us in a positive manner. Over 80% of our revenue annually is generated right here on the sales floor. Before the consultants came, we were paying our salesmen strictly on a base plus commission basis. Well, they taught us to change that to incentivize our salesmen to sell per unit. That per unit bonus has led to greater sales and more profitability for our company. We all know that the financial side of what we do daily is very important, obviously, or we wouldn't have a business. But more importantly than just the financial side was the personal growth as a manager that I have been able to experience with working with the consultants. Prior to them coming, I was a constant micromanager. I was having to watch over my managers and my employees, trying to do their job for them. Well, then what do I need them for? Well, guess what? I learned the freedom of being able to work with my employees, disengage myself on a daily basis, and work more on the business than in the business. And that's one of the biggest things that I've taken away is, how can I be absentee from our business and still run a successful business, whether it's a daily or monthly or weekly managers meeting with my crew and staff. I've empowered them, along with the other owner, to allow them to make decisions that financially incentivize them, that benefit the bottom line, and ultimately Dan and I.
Another thing we did, we brought in one of your tax experts. We went from 1 entity to 5 for asset protection, and at the end of the day, saved over $100,000 in taxes.
So before Lawrence came in and helped me get some systems in order, we were just out of control. I mean, I was paying vendors when I just needed to pick up supplies. I was not making payroll. I was running on 2 different QuickBooks operations. I mean, the cash management there was no cash management. I would just get hit with, a tax bill that I had no idea that was even coming in. I ran through the break room door crying every other week because I couldn't make payroll. I mean, Lawrence came in and showed me how to use the cash management program. I know what's reoccurring. I know exactly what I owe my vendors. I can see into the future if I'm going to get into the red and I need to do something different. I mean, having a cash management and the system, it's just life-changing. I mean, no more tears. So that's the main thing. And that I feel confident in writing checks and I'm not sweating, is this going to bounce? Or just having a plan in order has just changed us greatly. So before Lawrence came in, the guys had asked if we could buy this piece of equipment and I was like, absolutely not. It's too expensive. Well, when Lawrence came in, we sat down and blood-walled it and he showed me how I was losing money by not having it. My cash management showed me that I could afford it and I could even pick out the week that the payment was coming out because I knew all my reoccurring bills. We are more profitable and making more money because we're just running so much more efficient. And the consultant, Lawrence, showed me how to do that. So before Lawrence came in, I didn't ever have an employee meeting. So now we have a weekly meeting and we talk about the problems that were going on in the shop. We kind of go over the theory of constraint, where the bottleneck is. So if we had a problem last week, this week we can worry about how to fix it and how to fix it. So having the weekly meetings has made a huge help here at Stoneman Granite because we're all on the same page. So before Lawrence came in, I was really a people-based business. Now I'm a system-based business. I have my systems in place. I had 2 key employees that I caught stealing. I had to fire. I called Lawrence. He gave me the confidence to let them go, that the systems I had in place will work for me. I run my business so much wiser and smarter because of Lawrence. I have somebody that I can call on and depend on all the time. Somebody from the outside looking in to let me know that the decisions I'm making for my company employees are good.
So following Ron's departure, with the establishment of the business management plan, the blood walling and the other things that have been put into place, it allowed me to spend more time working on the business. I was able to focus more on the strategic planning to grow the business. We're doing that through acquisition of another company and other avenues. And the relationship that's been formed with the consultants now allows us to get advice and plan for strategic tax advantages that we can take advantage of as we go down the road. One of my favorite quotes comes from Vince Lombardi. He said that perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. With the help that we gained from Ron, we now have the tools in place and the team behind us that we can catch our excellence. We're grateful for the opportunities we have and we look forward to the growth and success that the future will bring.
Mark and Olivia were instrumental in my development as a manager. Mark from the revenue side and Olivia from the profit side. We've gone from being a people-based company to a systems-based company, and really the end result is that my dad and I are now in the beginning planning stages of succession planning. So overall, our confidence in the company has grown, and his confidence in me and a manager is higher than it's ever been before.
One of the greatest things that our consultant taught us was that we were able to get some freedom from our business, and it allowed us to pursue our passion. Our passion happens to be classic cars and sports cars.
So instead of envying the guy that's driving one down the street, here we are living the dream, able to drive 100 miles an hour. So thanks, guys.